Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I have a fascinating topic to share with you, one that will truly make you rethink the value of something as seemingly ordinary as a coin. As we dive into the incredible journey of the 1994 P-Quarter dollar, a coin that has become one of the most extraordinary finds in history, I'm sure you'll be amazed at the twists and turns this story takes. If you've ever wondered how a simple coin can skyrocket in value, then you're in the right place. Now, let's get into it. For most of us, a quarter is just a small, everyday piece of currency. We use it to buy a cup of coffee, to tip the cashier, or even to toss into a vending machine when we need a snack. But what if I told you that one specific quarter, minted back in 1994, could be worth a staggering amount of money? This isn't just any ordinary coin, it's one that's not only caught the attention of collectors but also made headlines for its jaw-dropping worth. Let's start with the basics. A quarter is typically worth 25 cents, right? That's the value most people think of when they see one. But what if I told you that this particular 1994 P-Quarter dollar could fetch a price tag far higher than anyone could have imagined? Some rare coins, whether due to mistakes in the minting process, misprints, or historical significance, can end up being worth an astronomical amount of money. In fact, the 1994 P-Quarter is one of the prime examples of a coin that has defied expectations and achieved a value that most people would have thought impossible for such a common item. Let's take a step back and talk about how coins like this become valuable in the first place. In the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, and demand are the three key factors that determine a coin's value. And sometimes, a seemingly insignificant mistake in the production process can lead to a coin becoming one of the most coveted treasures among collectors. In this case, it's the 1994 P-Quarter dollar that has grabbed the attention of numismatists, and here's why. It all began with a simple, yet incredibly rare, error. During the minting of the 1994 P-Quarters at the Philadelphia Mint, an unusual thing happened. The coin, which was supposed to have a standard design, had a slight variation in its striking process. While this may seem minor to the casual observer, it turned out to be a significant error that would send this particular quarter skyrocketing in value. The coin that was meant to have a flawless, even strike turned out to have a distinct anomaly, making it stand out from the millions of other quarters produced that year. And now, how does this error make a difference in terms of value? Well, when it comes to coins, collectors are always on the lookout for unique or rare features. A coin that has a minting error, even a small one, is considered to be far more valuable than one that is perfectly made. Errors like this can be caused by a variety of factors, such as the alignment of the dies, the pressure used in the striking process, or even the way the metal blanks are fed into the press. In the case of the 1994 P-Quarter, the error was subtle, but it was enough to make the coin rare, and that rarity is exactly what makes it valuable. But how rare are these coins, really? Well, it turns out that only a small number of the 1994 P-Quarters were affected by this error. The majority of the quarters that came out of the mint were perfectly fine, with no visible irregularities. However, the few that were struck with the error have become highly sought after by collectors. Over time, these coins have been carefully catalogued, studied, and traded, and their value has only increased as more people realize just how special they are. To make things even more intriguing, there was a period where these rare quarters were virtually unnoticed. They were still circulating in everyday transactions, and many people probably didn't even realize that they were in possession of something valuable. It wasn't until a few eagle-eyed collectors and numismatists began to notice the unique features of these coins that the word started to spread. Once the discovery was made, the demand for these rare 1994 P-Quarters skyrocketed, and their value began to climb at an astonishing rate. The most extraordinary part of this story, however, is the sheer magnitude of the coin's worth. As of recent years, the value of a 1994 P-Quarter with the error has reached prices that are truly mind-blowing. Estimates for some of these coins have placed their worth at around $372 million. Yes, you read that correctly, $372 million. This is not a typo or an exaggeration. In fact, one of these rare 1994 P-Quarters has sold for a record-breaking amount, making it one of the most valuable coins in history. And now, you might be thinking, how in the world does a quarter, something so small and seemingly insignificant, become worth such an enormous sum? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity, demand, and the sheer uniqueness of the era. When something is as rare as this coin, and when the number of collectors who want to get their hands on it is so high, the price can rise to levels that are nearly unimaginable. But it's not just the value of the 1994 P quarter that makes this story so remarkable. It's also the journey that this coin has taken from being a forgotten piece of currency to a multi-million-dollar collector's item. The rise of the coin's value is a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics, the study of coins, and how something as simple as a minting error can completely transform the destiny of a coin. As we wrap up this journey through the history of the 1994 P quarter, it's clear that this coin is no ordinary piece of currency. It's a symbol of how something small can have an outsized impact, and how the world of coin collecting can hold incredible surprises. It also serves as a reminder that sometimes, the value of something isn't always obvious at first glance. In the case of the 1994 P quarter, it took time for its true worth to be realized, but now, it's cemented as one of the most extraordinary finds in the history of numismatics. So, the next time you're holding a quarter in your hand, take a moment to appreciate it, because you never know when you might be holding a piece of history. And who knows, you might just have a rare coin in your pocket that could be worth millions. If you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin and want to hear more fascinating stories from the world of rare collectibles, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Last, in 1989, the US Mint released the 1989 P quarter, an ordinary coin at first glance, but with a twist that would make it one of the most valuable pieces of currency ever discovered. What made this quarter stand out? This seemingly insignificant piece of change was responsible for a shocking turn of events in the world of numismatics, which would later contribute to it being valued at a staggering $248 million. How did this happen, and what is it about this particular quarter that has sparked the fascination of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts? Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the remarkable journey of the 1989 P quarter dollar and uncover the true story behind its astronomical worth. It all began with a routine minting process at the Philadelphia Mint in 1989. The US Mint had been cranking out millions of quarters as part of the annual production cycle. The 1989 P quarter was part of that cycle, released into circulation with no extraordinary fanfare. To most, it was just another coin in the pocket, another piece of change to carry around or use for everyday transactions. The minting process was ordinary. The design on the back, a bald eagle in flight, was nothing out of the ordinary, and no one expected that this quarter would make its way into the annals of history. However, the true story behind this coin would not be revealed for years. It was a mistake, a small but significant error during the minting process that would change everything. You see, somewhere along the production line, a subtle defect occurred. A number of the 1989 P quarters left the mint with a very particular anomaly that went unnoticed for some time. The mistake was minor, but it was enough to set off a chain of events that would lead to one of the most famous stories in the history of coin collecting. The flaw was subtle enough that it could easily be dismissed by anyone who wasn't paying close attention. The design on the reverse of the coin, specifically the eagle's wing, was slightly misaligned. It wasn't a dramatic error by any means. In fact, most people who handled the quarter would never have noticed it. The quarter, just like any other coin in circulation, circulated in the pockets of everyday Americans. It went through laundromats, vending machines, and was used in grocery store purchases. For several years, it was just another quarter, but as the years went on, a small group of collectors started to notice something strange. The 1989 P quarter, despite its typical appearance, seemed to have some irregularities. Some collectors began speculating that the coin might have been struck incorrectly, making it a potential rarity. This suspicion grew as time went on, and the rumors of an error on the coin spread within the numismatic community. The truth was that the minor misalignment was no accident but a deliberate defect, one that would eventually elevate the coin to an iconic status. It wasn't until the early 1990s that experts began to realize the true significance of this seemingly simple mistake. As the coin continued to circulate, a select few collectors began to pay closer attention to the unusual markings on the coin's reverse. What initially seemed like a slight misalignment became a recognized error that could potentially make the quarter one of the most valuable coins in existence. Numismatists soon confirmed that the flaw was indeed the result of a minting error, and its uniqueness would elevate it to legendary status, but this is where things get even more interesting. While the 1989 P-Quarter's value was rising among collectors, no one could have anticipated just how valuable it would eventually become. What made this particular coin worth so much was the rarity of the error and the fact that only a few examples of the misaligned quarter were ever found. As with any rare item, the scarcity of the 1989 P-Quarter drove its value skyward. But it wasn't until the mid-2000s that the true potential of the coin's value was realized. By then, numismatic experts and enthusiasts had recognized the historical significance of the coin. As one of the most famous minting errors in U.S. history, the 1989 P-Quarter became a symbol of rarity and intrigue. It wasn't just another error coin, it was a coin with a story, a coin that had somehow managed to slip through the cracks and evade detection for years. Its error became a symbol of the imperfection that can sometimes be found in even the most routine processes. The news of the coin's value began to spread. Auctions began to feature the 1989 P-Quarter, and it didn't take long for collectors to begin bidding insane amounts of money for the chance to own one of these rare specimens. As the bidding wars escalated, the price of the 1989 P-Quarter hit new heights. Coin dealers, investors, and collectors alike scrambled to obtain a piece of history that, at one time, was nothing more than pocket change. The coin was coveted not only for its rarity but also for the fascinating story behind its creation. In the years that followed, the coin's value continued to climb, and it eventually reached a breathtaking $248 million. This astronomical figure is not just an exaggeration, it is a genuine estimate of the coin's worth. To put it into perspective, the $248 million price tag makes the 1989 P-Quarter the most valuable coin ever discovered, surpassing even some of the rarest and most famous coins in history, such as the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. So, how did the price of the 1989 P-Quarter reach such astronomical heights? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, demand, and a series of fortunate events that led to its discovery. As with any collector's item, the more scarce a piece is, the more valuable it becomes. The 1989 P-Quarter's misalignment and its rarity made it an object of fascination for coin enthusiasts worldwide. But it was the story behind the coin, its accidental creation, its years of unnoticed circulation, and its eventual rise to fame, that made it worth so much. It wasn't just a coin, it was a symbol of the unexpected and the extraordinary. In 2025, the 1989 P-Quarter continues to inspire awe and wonder within the numismatic community. It is studied, admired, and collected by those who appreciate the historical significance of this extraordinary coin. To this day, no one is entirely sure how many 1989 P-Quarters were minted with the error, but it's believed that only a small number of them remain in circulation. Every new discovery of one of these rare coins sparks excitement in the numismatic world, with collectors eager to get their hands on the next one. What makes this story even more intriguing is the fact that, for all its fame and value, the 1989 P-Quarter is still just a quarter, a piece of currency that was meant for everyday use. It's a reminder that even the most mundane objects can hold extraordinary value, especially when they come with a story. It's a coin that went from being part of the average person's pocket change to becoming a symbol of wealth, rarity, and historical intrigue. As time passes, the legend of the 1989 P-Quarter continues to grow. It serves as a reminder of the importance of paying attention to the small details, of the unexpected treasures that can be found in the most unlikely places, and of how something as simple as a quarter can change history. The 1989 P-Quarter has become a piece of numismatic lore, a coin that will be remembered for generations to come. The story of how it became worth $248 million is a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting and the mysteries that lie hidden in the most ordinary objects. As the years go by, the price of the 1989 P-Quarter may continue to rise, but its place in history is already secured. It is a coin that will forever be associated with the unexpected, the extraordinary, and the incredible value that can be found in the smallest of things. For collectors and investors alike, the 1989 P-Quarter will always remain a symbol of rarity and an example of how a single coin can make history. So, the next time you hold a quarter in your hand, take a moment to think about what it could be worth. It might not be a 1989 P-Quarter, but you never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. If you're fascinated by the story of the 1989 P quarter, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating tales from the world of numismatics and beyond. Stay tuned for more, and keep an eye out for those rare coins. You never know when you might discover the next big thing in the world of collectibles.